let's do what everybody's talking about. The Smark Zone.
The Smark Zone, your weekly source for everything wrestling, any kind of wrestling news or anything like that, any discussion, any huge topics in the world of wrestling, any things that they won't actually tell you on the broadcasts. Well, that's what we're here for.
Pretty much. And on ECW.com, which I guess everyone can read, Vince McMahon issued a public apology for Matt Striker's comments on Steve Irwin's death.
Untimely death.
Untimely death due to a stingray, and he apologized for it. But the funny thing is that Brian Gurewitz is the one who originally wrote the joke, and it was sent to Vince, who approved it prior to show.
And then once the backlash happened, that's when Vince feels the need to apologize.
Oh, did you hear about PETA talking about Steve Irwin's death?
No.
That he deserves to die?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he was engaging in high-risk behavior.
Well, it's because he was mistreating animals.
According to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're crazy.
But they say all kinds of crap like that.
And they're nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's just PETA.
I put goldfish?
Goldfish?
I put goldfish in a moving blender. That's what I do.
Really?
Ooh, tempting fate. And speaking of that, tempting fate, Vince McMahon and company are considering bringing back Kevin Nash, who's currently 47, and Scott Hall, currently 47, turning 48 next month, back to the WWE.
Wow.
That'd be sweet.
To take over
awesome.
the DX feuds, as it's dying with the McMahons, to have an NWO DX feud.
I'll start watching wrestling then if they come back.
And it's in various circles that it's being talked about, so it is a possibility. Very, very, very possible. And Scott Hall has said in a recent interview back in June that he is working out and getting in shape to return to the ring.
Right, but is he drunk all the time?
Oh, of course. If Scott isn't drunk, Scott's not funny. And speaking of funny, I know everybody was watching the ECW opening segment, or it was pretty close to the beginning, where Triple H walked into this place, and the kid was wearing the ECW shirt, and he goes, "Are we in the right place?" And he goes, "Bingo." He got so much heat for that in the back. Oh,
But it's funny.
Oh, of course. And it was reportedly said because Stephanie hates the ECW product. She just cannot stand it.
Really?
She hates it. She thinks it's
Why?
a horrible idea. Because she's Stephanie McMahon.
And WWE product isn't?
She's crazy. She's nutty.
Her kid's going to be crazy, too.
And speaking of ECW, Paul Heyman is going to be the only other wrestling promoter other than Vince McMahon in WWE and their shows Raw and SmackDown to perform in Madison Square Garden. Something not even billionaire Ted could do. He can never play Madison Square Garden. Never.
Because it's the house that Vince Sr. built.
Yeah, and Vince Jr. helped, and now ECW is going to be in there too, which is kind of weird, I guess. But hey, at least
Well,
it's not
own 'em.
WCW.
Right.
Ugh.
WCW.
Little WCW. And there's going to be a weekly replay finally of ECW on Sci-Fi starting, so sometime during the week you'll be able to watch it again if you
Like
listen on Tuesdays.
6 a.m. or noon.
Or whatever they're going to play. And did you see that lap dance on ECW Joey Styles got from that crazy vampire chick?
Yeah, that's right.
That wasn't a rib. That was legit. Like, he agreed to it.
Really? He probably really wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
What about a crazy vampire chick?
Yeah, there's a vampire guy in the wrestling show, and she's some broader names like Ariella. She did an OVW.
She hangs
where
upside down and stuff like
and
that.
does crazy nutty stuff.
Areola?
She's a vampire.
She hot?
She might be if she didn't wear so much caked on makeup.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
it's
like
vampire chick, so.
Yeah, it's like pasty
Yeah, but
white.
she's all like weird looking. She's not like your typical kind of hot looking vampire chick. She does it too much and it's kind of unattractive.
It is.
You know how when chicks get so much makeup caked on that you could put your finger in there and it goes to the knuckle?
Yep.
In the knuckle?
To the knuckle.
The knuckle.
And, this week's WWE Raw did a 3.6 and ECW did a 2.1, which is up from the 1.9. That's just horrible. That's like TNA numbers. Oh, sorry about that, Jarrett and friends. So that was the Smark Zone. I hope you
There you
enjoyed
have it, everybody.
Nothing
There's the
really
Smark
major
Zone.
this week, except for the whole
Nothing
Kevin
huge.
Nash, Scott Hall possibilities.
Oh,
I mean,
man, if
a
that
DX
happens-
NWO field. I mean, that's like that's like crazy.
That's huge numbers is what that is.
That is crazy, crazy stuff.
I mean, for long-term fans like us, that's bringing it back to the days of 96, 97.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's just crazy.
That's when I used to watch it religiously.
Oh, man. Wrestling was so much better back in the day.
It
Yeah.
was.
It really, really was.